Brunswick Landing Marina became our home for 5 weeks in October and early November, and it turned out to be an ideal location that suited our needs, allowing us to rest and complete boat projects prior to heading further south. The amenities were awesome, with a clubhouse for social gatherings with happy hours almost every other day. We met some awesome people and we spent memorable moments with, also knowing we'll run into some of them in the Bahamas. The marina had free laundry and free beer. I helped Darcy quite a bit with washing clothes. The marina also had bikes we could use to get around town, which worked out great as we did not have a car. Although friends we made were always gracious to offer to take us in their cars if we needed transportation. Darcy and I haven't rode bikes in decades, but it was fun getting back pedaling, not to mention getting some well-needed exercise. Brunswick was a great community, although some sections were struggling. However, everyone we met greeted us with a smile and a wave, and we reciprocated. The town reminded us of a John Grisham novel. Every couple of days, we would hop on the bikes and pedal our way to the Winn-Dixie for grocery shopping or the West Marine to buy supplies for our next boat project. We knew our supermarket shopping days were numbered, as we would rarely find markets of this size and selection in the Bahamas or Caribbean. Our food purchases were well thought out, as we needed to make sure we could get all the groceries in the baskets on the bikes. Water maker, baby. 30 gallons an hour.
That's not too big. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
And there's the rest. Some assembly required.
Yeah. I also needed to go up the spar to run halyards for a new radar reflector we just purchased, and also for courtesy flags that we'll need to fly when we enter foreign countries.
How much further?
A little bit more.
That's good.
Excellent.
From climbing the mast to going way down below.
Yeah. Changing oil. I don't think this one's been changed for a while. First time we're doing it on the boat, and babes, it looks like the original 10-year-old oil. So, past due.
Generator will be much more happy.
Captain will be much more happy.
And crew.
Another important project we were able to complete was our onboard medical kit, which our friend Shelley Galligan of Point to Point Nautical and Medical Services helped to put together by providing a list of supplies we were able to purchase and organize into our kit. We know we'll need to be somewhat self-reliant, and her suggestions were well thought out. Thanks, Shelley. As it turns out, we were in manatee country, and we were fortunate enough to see these sea cows. This one was in the marina, enjoying a drink of fresh water as he laid on his back. Time was getting short for our stay in Brunswick. The days were getting colder and shorter. The boat projects were complete, and it was time to set our sights south. We decided to take one last tour around this quaint town and enjoy the southern architecture and Spanish moss hanging from the trees. It was a great last day on the bikes. We'll miss them. We also did our last walk-in tour of their downtown. There's great effort going on to redevelop this area while maintaining the unique historic structures. We also came across a small boutique rum distillery in town that we needed to check out as they were having an open house. They were distilling rum in the French Caribbean island tradition of using sugar cane instead of molasses to produce the rum. Of course, I needed to do a taste test.
Hey, Doug. Did I see Diversify bringing one of their tanks in the other day?
This is the one that we had over in Richmond for a while.
So what are we trying to determine, honey?
Crystal ball, what's going to happen with the weather?
With the weather, with the wind, when can we leave?
The weather was turning cold in Brunswick, and cold fronts were pressing through from the north, so it was time to check the weather and continue our trek south. Our many boat projects were complete, and we needed to find a weather window to head back out to sea for a short passage to Fernandina Beach and Cumberland Island, Florida, which we heard were two great places to visit. We were on the backside of a cold front with mild winds, but cold temperatures when we headed out. The morning temperature was 35 degrees when we threw off the dock lines and headed for open water. We have fond memories of people and their boats that we met during our time in Brunswick. Chris and Gail on Tortuga, Bob and Etta on Taku, Debbie and Bjornja, John and Sharon, Texas Ann, and Tom and Ann on Alchemy. We know we'll run into some of these people as we head south. One of the more interesting stories was Bob and Judy and Pooh Bear and the boat he lived on for over 30 years, cruising where his heart and the wind took him. They're selling their boat, and he just purchased a bright red truck that will tow their new mobile home around the U.S. Bob just turned 90.